Last subject, Lavelle, daily delivery debate. Subject number 3, near and dear to your heart, maybe hurting your heart a little bit. Here we go. Which NFL rookie QB will finish the season with the most touchdown passes? Now, I came to this not just because Caleb Williams, you're a Bears fan, not just because of Caleb Williams. I saw a stat the other day. No rookie quarterback has thrown a touchdown pass yet this season. Now, of course, McCarthy out for the year with the injury with the Vikings. Drake May hasn't played yet, and Penix hasn't played yet, but Bo Nix has been playing. Caleb Williams certainly has been playing. Jayden Daniels has been playing. All three of them, no touchdown passes through 2 games. Who among them, or even a guy who hasn't even played yet, maybe a guy like Drake May when he gets his chance, who among them will finish the year with the most touchdown passes?
Whoever gets the first one.
I don't know. It better not be a race to 1, or people are going to be pretty upset about the way this turned out.
Yeah, it's funny because when I saw that question, I started doing research. I was like, I know my guy doesn't have any touchdown passes. So let's see here. Well, Bo Nix hasn't thrown any. Well, Jayden Daniels hasn't thrown one either. So that's good. They're good. I thought my guy.
It's a fair race.
I thought Caleb was going to be trailing when I opened up the computer and started looking up stats, but he's not. So that gives me confidence in saying that it's going to be Caleb Williams who gets the Bears offense at least functional and starts moving them forward. I will point out that he should have 2 touchdown tosses by now because Keenan Allen dropped one in game 1 and Rome Odunze dropped one against the Houston Texans. Any decent receiver would grab because it was in both his hands, not just one, not the tips of the fingers. It was in his flipping gloves and he couldn't hold on to it. So he should have 2. And I'm basing this off of the Bears skill position players. Williams has the best group of receivers and a running back in DeAndre Swift who can catch passes out of the backfield. A decent tight end in Cole Kmet. Even with Keenan Allen out against the Texans, you still have DJ Moore and Rome Odunze. And a lot of teams would love to have that type of pairing. So I would just, and I know Jayden Daniels has a couple good receivers there. Bo Nix has Cortland Sutton, who's a solid guy, but I like the package that Caleb Williams is dealing with. So I'm going to predict that once the Bears get the offensive line issues and just overall continuity and collaboration between line and receivers and tight ends and the whole group, that Caleb's going to get going here and start throwing some touchdown passes and more than the other 2.
That's a fair prediction. I'm going to go with Jayden Daniels, though, just because I think he's had the best 2 games of the rookies so far. I feel like he came in a pretty good spot. I mean, Washington, not a great team by any stretch, but he came in. It looked like they named him the starter like fast. I don't think there was no question there. There really wasn't a question in Chicago necessarily either. Certainly once they traded Fields, but Daniels has probably been the most impressive of the 3. He just doesn't have a touchdown yet. His passer rating's up close to 100. He's got Washington playing reasonably well. I like your selection in that I think Caleb Williams has the best talent around him, and that there's no reason he shouldn't throw 20 or 25 touchdown passes this season, assuming he's healthy, assuming he plays the full season. They will get going. I just think Jayden. I keep calling him Jayden McDaniels. This is going to be a problem for a long time.
Yes, it is.
Jayden Daniels is maybe a little bit ahead right now. I'm not saying that's where it's going to wind up career-wise, because I think there's a reason Caleb Williams was the number 1 pick, but Jayden Daniels, I think, is a little bit ahead right now and will be asked to do a little bit more in Washington. And I think by the end of the season, he'll be the one that has the most touchdown passes. Now, I think if Drake May was playing, I might pick Drake May right now too, because he's probably the one with the most arm, just pure arm talent, might throw those, longer touchdowns, be able to get you in from 15, 20 yards out. I don't think it's going to be Bo Nix. I think the Broncos got to be a little bit worried about that debut so far.
Well, I didn't have to research May, but I can't, off the top of my head, I cannot think of a New England wide receiver.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Terry McLaurin is a solid receiver, above average receiver for the Commanders. They're expecting Luke McCaffrey to come in as a rookie and produce. I don't know about that. And they still have Zach Ertz. I didn't even know he was still in the league. Yeah. He's their tight end. But, watching almost said McDaniels, watching Daniels at LSU, I was like, this guy's got talent. I mean, I was intrigued. I mean, behind Caleb Williams, I may have had him. I had McCarthy too. I've always been a big JJ McCarthy guy. Not just because he's from Chicago, not just because he plays hockey. He used to play hockey, but I just thought when it was time for him to make a play, he could make a play. And I was convinced that he was going to start midway through the season for the Vikings. That things would have been very interesting if he was still healthy with the way Sam is throwing the ball. But I can see Daniels coming in second in that race, definitely.
Yeah, I think that's fair. The only one we know for sure it's not going to be is, of course, McCarthy, like you said, out for the season. Darnold really taking the pressure off of that buzzkill, by the way, by playing so well so far. This could have been, they start out poorly. Going before the injury happens, you've always got that kind of like carrot out there, like, oh, well, they can always bring the rookie, and he didn't have that going into the season. So him playing well for these first 2 games, them being 2-0, definitely changes kind of the vibe like 180 for that team. There was no vibe going into the season. There's a vibe right now. It's a lot based on the defense, but a lot of it too is based on how much better Darnold is playing versus expectations.
I agree. Definitely agree.
All right, Lavelle. Well, good stuff. Everybody go vote. Vote on social media, vote on YouTube when these are posted. Tell us who won. I'm willing to let Lavelle have the taco trophy. I'm willing to put a little crown on him, whatever we got to do if he wins the week. So we'll see. If you're going to crown him, right? Like our friend Denny Green said, you were right. On the wrong. You guys were on the right. You were on the right end of that one.
I remember that. You want to crown their ass, crown them.
Love it. All right, Lavelle, appreciate it. We'll do it again next week.
Sounds good.